Am I coming through? Okay, I think so. Hey, how's everyone doing? Woo! Super thrilled to be with you live here today. We are going to kick off in about 3 minutes, and we will be both live here in the audience. We also will be live streaming around the world. We have about 500 people that registered to join us from all around the world. This will all be recorded, and you can all tune in and watch the YouTube on our channel after. My main ask is stay for the whole time as long as you can and listen intently to our amazing entrepreneurs, and also bring the energy. So we're going to do a trial. Can everyone, if I'm like, hey, we've got our next founder coming up, who's ready to bring the energy? Okay. You are naturals. This is great. It's also an energy cohort, so I'm going to make a lot of energy puns today. So we're going to have a great time. I'm Matt. I'll do a full intro to myself. We'll listen. We'll have Michael Terrell in a minute kicking us off, our head of advanced energy. We'll have a panel with some experts in the field, including Amanda Peterson-Corio, who leads our data centers, and we'll get to hear from many great startups who are all over here. Raise your hands if you're pitching today. Let's all send good vibes that way. Awesome. And we'll have one audience question. We'll let you in on that. We've already decided the questions. You can definitely go ask them any questions after that you would like to do, but they are prepared for those questions. So don't stand up and try to grab a microphone. And any questions before we jump in? All good? Okay, we'll kick off in 2 minutes. Thanks everyone for being here. Good? Hello everyone, and welcome to our first ever Google for Startups Accelerator AI for Energy. Who's excited for today? I love it. I love the energy. I'm Matt Reidenauer, head of our accelerators here at Google for the US, and I'm thrilled that I get to host today for this really monumental event. It's our first ever time hosting this, and we are live from the innovation capital of the world. It also happens to be where I live, so I'm a bit biased, but I'm thrilled that we get to host you here at Google San Francisco to support some of the best entrepreneurs building the future of energy. Why are we doing that today, and why here? Well, at Google, we really believe that AI is a key force in driving the future of delivering on some of our most pressing energy needs. And I'm thrilled that we get to talk a little bit about how new solutions, new innovations are coming online and helping customers and partners and many more deliver on the big needs of the day. We'll get to hear from 13 entrepreneurs about what they're building. We'll hear from some AI experts on a panel, and we may even have a few surprises along the way. How does that sound? Awesome. I'll also mention that we are joined by over 100 people live here in San Francisco and by hundreds joining us on the live stream. Let's give a big shout out to those that are joining us from around the world. So let's bring the energy for sure. Share your comments and your kudos if you're joining us on YouTube. And to kick it off, I am delighted to introduce Michael Terrell, Google's head of advanced energy. Come on up, Michael.
Thank you, Matt. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Google San Francisco. I'm glad everybody who's here live got out of the rain. And for those on the video, we're having a very wet day here in San Francisco. Anyway, I'm Michael Terrell. I lead the advanced energy team here at Google. We're one of the teams that sponsored this AI accelerator. And here at Google, we believe in the power of AI to drive innovation in energy. And it's one of the reasons why we're so excited to have you all here today, because you guys are doing just that. For folks like me who've been in this space for a while, this is a really incredible time in energy. We've now started to see electricity growth in a way that we haven't seen in many, many years. And that's creating a lot of challenges, but it also creates opportunities to really drive impactful change in the energy system in a way that's sustainable, drives more reliable electricity, and drives hopefully more affordable electricity for everybody. And so I got a real kick out of reading your applications over the course of the summer. Super excited about some of the companies, all of the companies that are represented here, and it'll be great to hear your pitches. So there's a lot of energy in the room. Let's get started on demo day. I'll turn it back over to Matt, who's going to talk a little bit more about how the day is going to work. And once again, thanks everybody for being here, and thanks for the incredible work that y'all are doing to make this transition to clean and sustainable and affordable energy happen. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michael, and love all the work that you and the team are doing. Raise your hand if you have ever founded a company or been close to someone who has. We're in San Francisco, so most of the crowd. Keep your hand up if it was super hard. I think that's about everyone. Turns out it's incredibly hard to start a business, particularly one that is 0 to 1 and in many ways has not ever existed. Many of the companies that are building today you'll be hearing from. It's particularly challenging building a team, finding the right customers and investors, executing on every little detail, and leading with a big, bold vision at the same time. And it can be not only hard, but also a bit lonely. That's why I'm proud of our mission at Google Accelerators. We are here to support startups with the best of Google's people, programs, and products so they can go on and change the world. And we've been doing that for a decade. We've graduated over 1,700 startups in every region you can imagine around the world. 19 of those have gone on to be billion-dollar-plus unicorns. You might be hearing from some of those future unicorns today. And we're just thrilled with some of the success and to amplify what some of the best founders are already doing. But what's the special sauce? We believe that by bringing some of the best of Google's people, programs, and products, that we can rally around these top tier founders. For this program, we got 150 experts in AI and ML, in sales and go-to-market, in leadership, product and UX, and much more. And they have been busy over the last 10 weeks. A recent cohort that I was just leading focused on Gen AI. InstaLily is building the future of agentic workforce. They came in just like this cohort, and in a few weeks, they were able to prototype and deploy new instances of Gemini and a few of our other AI tools. They scaled up super fast. We hosted a demo day just 2 months ago, and right after, they were able to announce a $25 million Series A led by Insight Partners. Pretty cool, we can clap for that. And that's of course just one of the many stories. I think you'll be hearing from some great companies today that'll have very similar stories coming up soon. I also get super excited about the opportunity for AI in things like healthcare. Cerebra AI, who's using it to save lives for early detection for strokes, and even sending data centers into outer space. StarCloud, who is in our most recent cohort, you may have seen they just partnered with SpaceX and literally last week deployed the first H100 into outer space. They were just in our recent cohort. And I think I could tell a story very similar about each of the startups that you'll be hearing today. So without further ado, we're going to jump in. How it's going to work is you'll hear from each of them. We'll go lightning fast. They'll have 2.5 minutes. And then we'll hear an audience question that they'll respond to. And for those that are joining, we do want to keep the energy up. So keep the cheers going. And for those joining us on the live stream, send your comments and your kudos in there as well. And we will share this live stream out. You can send it to other investor friends, partners, customers, and all that, and rewatch these pitches as well. Sound good? Awesome. Who's ready? Shall we jump in? All right, I can't wait. Up first, I am delighted to introduce our first pitch from Artemis. Let's give a big round of applause.
All right, thank you, Matt. Hey, everyone. Cool. So I'm Waleed, the CEO and co-founder of Artemis. We're the Shopify for energy, where companies can design, sell, and finance at the speed of light. How long do you guys think it would take to get solar and batteries installed on your home? Month, 2 months, 2 years, 1 year? It would take a week just to get the price. Then 100 days after that, with a lot of people involved and mostly offline processes to finally get installed. And then half of you in this room would probably cancel before we got there. And that sucks for installers. At Artemis, we're changing that. Companies can now design projects in seconds. They can sell and finance without site visits, and they can do so at a fraction of the cost. Let me show you. Users simply enter in an address. We'll build a consumption profile of the home by pulling from a meter or their electric bill. And then in seconds after that, we'll build the perfect system for the house, modeling trees, obstructions, 3D modeling the home. We know exactly how much energy that home will generate for the next 25 years. We do this so well that lenders are underwriting based on these numbers. We've also layered on energy arbitrage for batteries, home upgrades like heat pumps and energy-efficient windows, and grid plans turning installers into retail energy plan providers. Dynamic, one of the larger installers in the country, has dropped their cost from nearly $500,000 down to $65K with our product. GoodLeap, a multi-billion-dollar lender, took their sales process from a week down to 3 minutes. And TriSmart, the #1 installer in Texas, has added nearly $10 million in top line. And they've all done this while reducing energy costs to consumers. We've grown about 28x since launching, with well over 7 figures in ARR. And we spent the last decade in energy and AI. We're repeat founders, engineers, researchers with PhDs in GIS, remote sensing, and geomatics, and experiences from Tesla and Shell Ventures. We'll be raising a Series A soon to scale to 35 million ARR. These are some of our incredible investors. Some are here today. Mark over at Wind Ventures. Thank you, Mark. If you're a Series A investor, we'd love to chat with you. If you scan this QR code, we'll find some time. Thank you.
How big is the addressable market?
So there's about 45,000 installers across North America and Europe that are focused on residential, solar, and storage. This product also works for roofing and HVAC and heat pumps and home improvement, which are also 10 times bigger markets as well. Cool. Thank you.
Up next, I'm delighted to introduce Sidalio. Big round of applause.
Hi everyone, I'm Nico. I'm one of the founders of Sedalio. So today I have a question for you. So how long it takes to read and analyze a utility bill? Can you guess? 1 minute, 5 minutes, 1 year? It's actually between 15 to 20 minutes because you need to collect all the invoices from different sites. You need to analyze them. And then you need to manually enter that information into a spreadsheet. So now imagine doing that for thousands of different places with different vendors, with different formats. So that is a ton of work. Companies with just 100 buildings will easily spend more than $20,000 only on invoice manual processing, only on that. And plus, more than $500,000 only in penalties, late fees, and whatever appears in that bill. So that's where Sedalio kicks in. We are helping companies to unlock insight from their utility invoices to manage and drive cost reduction. So that is work. That's how it works. You can drop your files here. We can sync with your Drive, SharePoint. You can forward your emails, or you can use our AI agent to download the bills for you. And after that, we start collecting all the information that is included on that bill. We can have the meter number, the measurements, the periods that are in the bill, due balance, total bill, wherever is there, we got it. And with that information, we can generate different alerts for you, custom alerts for your business. We can have different anomalies, and we can find how you can reduce your cost. So we are transforming how companies are processing their utility bills. We are going from manual downloads, weeks of wait of time, to process hundreds of bills just in seconds. Messy spreadsheets, huge, with real-time reliable data, and manual data review to automated cost reduction. We have been working with more than 11 enterprise clients. We are processing at the moment 2,000 bills per month, and we have detected more than $5 million in different anomalies. This is a team. We are second-time founders. We met 15 years ago when we found our previous company that was acquired by Accenture. So this is our second endeavor. And we are backed by the best. We have raised a $2.4 million on a pre-seed round. And we are looking for expanding our US-based client, grow our San Francisco office, and we will open our seed round early next year. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
How do you engage with your clients?
So we always try to run a pilot with them. We ask for all the utility invoices that they have. For us, it would be nice to have 2 to 3 years of history from all the locations that they have. We process all that data, and we create a custom report for them when we put all the anomalies that we found, and we also put some strategies for cost reduction. And we do all that in only 1 day. Thank you.
Fantastic. Up next, let's give it up for Daisy Chain Energy.
Hey. Hi, I'm Alex Bloomberg. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Daisy Chain. And imagine if you ran a hospital. You're required to maintain what's called N+1 redundancy, meaning that if the power goes out in the middle of a surgery, your backup systems trigger so that the care is uninterrupted. But for our customer, Northwell Health, the largest hospital network in New York, their backup systems were triggering even when there wasn't an outage. And this was causing havoc because when the backup system is on, they no longer have N+1 redundancy, meaning they have to cancel all their critical procedures. They had to cancel surgeries, they had to send their patients to their competitors, and they were losing up to $1 million a day in lost revenue per facility. Northwell's not alone. Power interruptions cost the US economy $80 billion annually. Daisy Chain is here to help fix that. Our platform, Electric Load Orchestra, gives commercial buildings real-time visibility into and control over their electricity usage. And in the case of Northwell, it solved the mystery of why their backup systems kept triggering. We'll show you how, we'll log into our platform here, show you how we help them figure this out. We have 6 of Northwell's campuses on our platform already, with plans to onboard all 28 campuses over the next 12 to 24 months. And we start each campus deployment the same way. We install meters across all the facilities' critical loads that monitor electricity consumption down to the millisecond. Then we process and analyze that data to uncover what's triggering the backups. Here is the culprit right here. This was an outage from the utility that led to a voltage drop that caused 3 days of chaos at this facility. The customer is thrilled because this insight is just the beginning. As they onboard solutions like batteries and capacitor banks, our platform becomes the implementation and control layer, the brain that orchestrates their entire electrification roadmap for solutions like on-site generation, fleet electrification, and grid-forming batteries. Daisy Chain currently has over 35 facilities on our platform, including hospitals, data centers, and multifamily buildings. Over the past year, we have more than 10x'd our sales. We've secured over $2.3 million in contracted revenue, and we've built a $21 million pipeline. Our executive team has a combined 100+ years of experience in the energy industry. We've had multiple exits across our team, including me. I sold my last company to Spotify as part of a 9-figure exit. We are currently raising a $6 million seed round to scale deployments and accelerate our growth. So if you are interested in learning more, we would love to talk to you. Come and find me and scan the QR code. Thanks very much.
For your seed round, what do you plan to use the money for?
Yeah, so we have, our platform is commercially deployed. We've been refining it and deploying it over the last year. And we've built a $21 million pipeline, mostly from referrals for people from channel partners or customers who are using that platform or seeing it in action, or for portfolio owners who have seen it work in one building and are now scaling across their entire portfolio. So we know our product works. We have product market fit, we have traction, so we want to use these funds to scale our sales function and really sort of pour gasoline on that fire and accelerate our growth. Woo. Awesome. All right, thank you.
Fantastic. Up next, I'm delighted to introduce Stina with Durapi. Come on up.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Stina Brock, CEO of Durapi. Durapi is the plaid for energy. Today, there are 50 million smart energy devices installed at US residential customer homes. This is great news for the grid because these devices, things like batteries, EVs, solar panels, and smart thermostats, can help provide grid flexibility and they can help reduce peak demand, which we need more than ever. The catch is, though, that we can only do this if we can connect to these devices. And it turns out it's almost impossible to connect to them all because they're stranded behind bespoke interfaces. Durapi solves this problem by making it easy to connect to all of these smart energy devices for data and control through one interface. We partner with the device manufacturers and provide standardized and secure access to their devices. And our customers are companies who want to be able to connect to these devices for data or control. With Durapi, every smart energy device becomes a part of a connected, intelligent network that can power a more flexible and affordable grid. We do this by providing full functionality to enable all of the capabilities of smart energy devices. Currently, we have over 90% of solar residential PV and residential battery brands connected to our platform. We launched our EV charger solution this summer, and we're now working on more technologies later this year. Today, I'm excited to announce Durapi's newest AI developments. Thanks to the great Google AI teams for their mentorship and this accelerator, we've developed advanced capabilities for predicting battery performance and identifying anomalies. And this is how it works. As a user, you can easily query to your fleet to identify systems that might have anomalous behavior. You have this list, and you can dig into the details. What you see here in blue is our predicted performance of a battery, and in red, actual operation. And as you follow along, you can start to see where we actually have identified some anomalies. So this helps our partners by helping them realize which systems need attention and might have issues. And it helps our customers by allowing them to maximize the value of their fleets and to be able to forecast performance. We have the best technology because we have the best team in this space. Our team has decades of experience working at the leading smart energy companies. And we just finished our oversubscribed seed round for fundraising. So thank you to Nate and others here for supporting us. And now we're looking to scale and grow. So if you are a company that has smart energy devices, or if you're an energy software platform, please reach out and let's have a conversation.
Can you tell us about your traction to date?
Yes. So currently, we have 6 of the top VPP and DERMS platforms as customers, including Uplight and Energy Hub. We today have over 4,000 devices connected to our platform. 2,000 of those are batteries that we have managed in the California energy market. And this summer, we controlled devices from coast to coast in over 100 demand response programs with 100% success rate. Right now, we're teeing up dozens of new programs for 2026, and we're really excited to roll out these new capabilities to our customers to help them be even more successful. Thank you.
Fantastic. Up next, I'm delighted to introduce Load. Big round of applause.
Thanks, Matt. Hello, everyone. This is Mehdi Nasseri, CEO and co-founder of Load Technologies. My company is dedicated to build products and solutions to unlock capacity and opportunity for compute through active management of energy and compute workloads. 10% of the world's electricity, that's how much that is projected to be consumed by data centers. And the grid can't keep up. You have already heard that 100 times in the past year, and you're going to hear that 10 more times today. So that's a huge, huge problem. The future of compute depends on its flexibility in order to be able to secure more power and reduce costs for the consumers. There is one big problem. You cannot unplug a data center. Uptime is non-negotiable, and coordination of a curtailment takes hours. That's why we are introducing Load, a platform that optimizes the economics and enables frictionless flexibility for data centers tailored around their business model. And we do it by solving an equation with 2 sides. The first side is energy management. We have built an all-in-one grid-ever energy management solution for data centers. This solution ingests data from over 20,000 grid nodes from across North America, enables operators to build their own customized strategies based on price, peak, and demand response, and we will execute that strategy for them on their operation. Currently, we have deployed this solution at 110 different sites. We manage 200,000 IoT devices, and we send out 1 million commands on a daily basis to these devices to adjust their energy consumption and support the grid, which puts us among one of the biggest load aggregators across country. The second side of the equation is workload management. We have built a grid-ever global load balancer that routes compute workloads to the data centers based on the current grid conditions. This solution is developed for AI inference workloads, currently supporting open weight models such as Llama, DeepSeek, and GPT-OSS, and it is able to reduce energy costs by 30% and carbon emissions by 27%. By combining these two solutions, we are glad to introduce our new product, which we call Keload. Thank you. The world's first energy intelligent AI inference cloud. We price compute based on real-time price of energy. When the price of energy goes negative, we pay you to consume inference on our platform. And when the price goes up, we cap it at a market competitive rate. This platform not only provides real-time pricing based on grid prices, but also gives access to advanced rack systems and guardrails, as well as dynamically routes compute workloads across resources to increase profit and reduce carbon emissions. We're looking for partners across utilities, data centers, cloud providers, in order to scale up this technology and solutions. So if you are one of those, please scan this QR code. Let's connect and have a conversation. Thank you.
What are the benefits of flexibility if it is adopted?
So flexibility, as I said, is super important for compute and data centers. Data centers are harming themselves and their customers by not being flexible. They're harming themselves because they're not able to secure more capacity, and they're harming their customers because they're not able to offer cheap compute. One of the biggest examples is a company called Cursor. They have more than $100 million in revenue, but their bill for compute is more than their revenue, which means compute is super expensive. We are dedicated to optimize compute to make it cheap enough and make it profitable for everyone and for the economy. Thank you.
Fantastic. You're hearing brand new announcements live. Pretty cool, right? Up next, I'm delighted to introduce Mercury Computing. Big round of applause.
7 years. 7 years. That's how long the typical data center project is stuck waiting to be connected to the grid. We're hearing a lot about data center growth all the time these last few years, but what we don't hear about is that the majority of this growth is not actually happening now. It's happening a decade from now, as we sit and wait for the infrastructure to get built to support it. There's some good news, don't worry. We could actually power the entire US data center pipeline on today's grid if we allocated flexible capacity to data centers. At Mercury, that's what we do. We enable data centers to access megawatts of power on the underutilized grid capacity from their utility. For just a few hours, just a handful of hours every year of demand flexibility, data centers can actually increase the power of their existing sites, where they are today, without lengthy interconnection queues in months, not years. In turn, our utilities, on the other hand, get to better utilize the grid assets they've already invested in, driving down prices for the communities in which those data centers reside. Our software platform allows a data center and a utility effectively to speak the same language. This turns data centers into responsive grid assets while unlocking that additional power capacity. What we see now with this enormous growth of on-site batteries, behind-the-meter generation, load flexibility solutions, like we just heard about, data centers are actually becoming far, far more flexible than they have been in the past. Our job at Mercury is to turn that flexibility and turn it into growth. In our platform, data centers are able to identify and evaluate their existing sites today, estimate how much flexible power capacity is in those sites that's available for them to tap, determine how much curtailment and of what length those events could be from the utility, and also forecast future curtailment events that are necessary for them to respond to in order to access that power. Looking at that, they can then integrate with the utility demand signals and actually unlock that additional power capacity, once again, in months, not in years. All of this, while our utility partners, on the other hand, they get access to a turnkey flexible capacity management and operations solution. Everyone wins. Our team, that one's me down there. We've got decades of grid tech experience, support from our lovely strategic investors. Thank you. And those utilities I just mentioned, they're actually our innovation partners as well, which is why we're able to actually offer this. We're super excited to say that we're already running commercialized pilot programs and recruitment across a variety of major utilities in the US, covering about 50% of the current data center market. We're raising our seed round here in a couple of months and would love to talk to you if either A, you're a data center and you're interested in accessing additional capacity at your sites, or you'd like to invest in the future of flexible grid infrastructure. My name is Monty Perekris, and yeah, thank you.
Data centers traditionally depend on firm power capacity. Can they actually use this flexible power capacity as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a question I get the absolute most. Fundamentally, the data center of today is not the data center of 10 years ago, right? When we're talking about flexible power, we're talking about not, oh, it's going to be offline half the year. We're talking about a handful of hours. With the proliferation of behind-the-meter batteries, generation, flexibility solutions, they can actually fill in that small gap of hours fairly easily. AI-based workloads, inference and training, these are workloads that can move between data centers. These are training runs that can be scaled in time like a dimmer switch. Fundamentally, data centers today are set to actually utilize this power in a way that they haven't been in the past. Yeah? Thank you all.
All right, let's give another huge round of applause. We made it through the first half. Pretty cool. We've got something special in store. You're going to be hearing from some amazing energy and AI leaders on a little panel here. We've got Amanda Peterson-Corio joining us, Global Head of Data Center Energy here at Google. We have Matt Logan, General Partner at Earthshot Ventures, and Sandra Chavez with EPRI. Come on up, everyone, and I'll sit here. And yeah, let's give them a big round of applause. Awesome. Thank you each for joining. Super appreciate y'all being here. We're just going to take a few minutes to learn a little bit more about each of our amazing panelists and a bit of their thoughts on the current moment we're in. Maybe just quickly give us an intro to what you're each doing, what you're seeing in the energy space each day. Do you want to kick us off, Amanda?
Sure. So thank you so much for having me. My name is Amanda Corio. I lead our global energy team here at Google and our data centers, and I'm so excited for all the innovative ideas that we're seeing here. So we are focused on powering Google, make sure we do that responsibly, and that means so much more today than it even did 5 years ago, as well as meet our decarbonization goals.
Thanks for having me, Matt. Matt Logan with Earthshot Ventures. We're a $95 million climate tech fund. We've invested really heavily at the intersection of AI and energy. Some companies you might know, like Cobalt Metals, using AI to find the metal deposits that are driving the energy transition. More recently, a company called Emerald AI, somewhat similar to Mercury in terms of providing flexibility in order to make data centers a grid asset rather than a liability, and a handful of others.
Including Durapi, I think,
Including
right?
Durapi,
Yeah.
that's right.
Who you just heard from, right? Pretty cool.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sandra Chavez. I work with EPRI, the Electric Power Research Institute, and we are basically a nonprofit that works with utilities to help shape the future of energy. And within that, I run a program called Incubate Energy Lab. So for those that have mentioned working with utilities, we basically have a platform that help connect startups and utilities. We have done nearly 100 projects over the last 7 years, and I will be remiss not to mention that we are accepting applications for our annual cycle. We close tomorrow. There's still time to apply.
Ooh,
If you want to
today.
learn more today, come find me. I would love to
Yeah.
have you in the pipeline to work with utilities.
We'll know why everyone's getting on their laptops right now if they go jump on. Thank you each. And curious, we've been hearing a bit about the challenges, of course. We want to hear from each of you. What are you seeing in your role about this unique moment we're in? What is kind of the top challenge that you're seeing right now in the energy space? Maybe kick it off, Amanda, and we can.
Sure. So what we're seeing now, and it's so fun to see all the data center companies. And by the way, for the last two conversations, we are going to be flexible. We are flexible. We've been developing this capability for years. Originally we started it for our decarbonization goals, but now we're saying, how can we do it to make sure we're a good grid citizen? We used it in Europe during the European energy crisis, and we're continuing to evolve and flex how we can flex. I know Emerald AIs and others are doing it. So what we're seeing is it's something that has many use cases. The future looks like a two-way grid. It will have to look like a two-way grid. Out of necessity, and where we're seeing more and more data center companies come to this realization is strictly out of supply and demand, right? Like if you want access to capacity, it's actually forcing the innovation that we need to see and having these more innovative, flexible solutions. So that's the cool thing. So I don't think I answered your question though, which is what am I seeing right now? I mean, it's all about speed and scale, and the system that we have today, I work across the globe, but maybe we'll stick in the US, is not fit for purpose for the scale and size of growth we're seeing right now for this industry and the onset of computing and AI. And so thinking differently is what we have to do. And trying to think incrementally is not going to get us to where we need to go. And if we keep moving incrementally, we're going to not like what we get in the end. It's going to look like a Frankenstein. So how do we avoid a Frankenstein and get to something much more smart, clean, efficient? We know what to do. I can see it in this room. It's really making sure that we work with the incentive structures of the system so that we can access all of this and do it smartly.
Love it. Matt?
Yeah, definitely. My answer about what the biggest challenge is rhymes with that. I would say speed to power, full stop. In addition to that, though, you not only want to get power quickly, you want to have that power be clean, you want that power to not raise prices for ratepayers, and you want that power to either be firm or have the sort of capacity to flex up and down to sort of participate as if it was firm. And so, putting all those things together, that's how we have sort of, the beautiful energy mix of the future, and not, put only one of those things or maybe two of those things and you get the, Frankengrid. So, that's what we're looking for solutions that sort of put that puzzle together.
So avoid the Frankengrid. That's what we're, okay. Would you like to add on, Sandra?
Yeah, I had a similar answer on capacity. So there is just so much that needs to happen. We are in a moment where we need to squeeze every electron of the grid, and we need to make the most out of the assets on the ground. But integration of new solutions can be a challenge, just bringing the perspective of utilities, how they are a very risk-averse industry, and there is a good reason for that. I think there is no margin for error. Keeping the lights on can be catastrophic when there is a blackout or some issue. So utilities are trying really hard to keep the lights on. They are trying really hard to advance in digitalization, but they are still catching up. Cybersecurity is perceived as a constraint and can be challenging to integrate solutions in that context.
Of course, we're working in an industry that in many ways has had a long legacy and is transforming super rapidly right now. And we're here hosting startups who are building brand new things, right? So how do you think about that right now? And maybe we can go back this way. What is the moment for startups right now? Is there an opportunity there? Is it just too hard? Talk a little bit about what is the opportunity for startups.
Thank you. No, I'm a big proponent of open innovation, and startups are super well positioned to solve those problems that utilities have been grappling with for a while. Startups are great at learning quickly and testing things and pivoting and addressing those very niche specific challenges. So in the program like ours, like Incubate Energy Labs, we really find that win-win space of startups and utilities working together. And we are big proponents of a collaborative model. I was saying earlier that utilities are really tough customers, but great partners. So working early, sharing that know-how of the realities on the grid and constraint, and co-developing solutions with them can be beneficial for startups to help meet the moment.
That's great.
Yeah, two ideas to share about sort of how startups can meet the moment. One, choose your quest well. I know I'm in a room of energy nerds here. It probably didn't surprise me. I guess it surprised some, but Santee Cooper wants to reopen VC Summer. They went with Brookfield. They're going to build a bunch of AP1000s. There's no innovator's dilemma there. It's just straightforward. So startups need to pick areas where there is an innovator's dilemma and where the incumbents aren't the natural solution. And then also, there's an old trope that there is often a race between startups getting distribution and incumbents catching up to the innovation before the startups get that distribution. And so I think just finding clever ways to sort of bootstrap that distribution. I mentioned Emerald in their sort of data center deployments. They're partnering with NVIDIA and EPRI, for example. So very young company, but sort of having the might of existing industry players like that really can help with distribution.
Plus one to all that. I think those are great comments. I guess the question, I've forgotten the question, is this a good moment? Yeah, look, we're here, and Google's funding this. I mean, there's plenty of demand spurs innovation, and there's lots of demand. And this is where we're seeing and needing the innovation. There's also plenty of capital running around right now. So making sure that you're thoughtful about smart capital always, and that you have good partners in that space. But I absolutely think that we're seeing our utility partners open up in ways never before. We're seeing, even for us, large tech company on the infrastructure side, open up to new ideas in ways never before because it's needed. Yeah. And that need is a real thing. And so I think it's an excellent time to be in this space.
Fantastic. Final question, leave us with some optimism. We've heard many of the problems, the challenges, some solutions. What's one thing that you are just super excited about coming down even a few years out, or something that you're just really bullish on? Oh my gosh, if this innovation can come forward, or if we can scale it up, I feel so excited about it. You want to kick us off, Amanda?
I mean, all of this, right? So this is the catch-22 of this moment, right? It's like, oh my God, having been in this industry, and like so many of you, I'm sure in this room, for my entire career, never have I seen more innovation move at such acceleration as it is and is going to be deployed in the next 5 years. And again, it took that demand to drive that, and it's that catch-22 where you're like, but we're gonna get this, and I think we have a moment because of the scale of what we needed, that we're going to see it actually deployed at scale. So for the last few years, a lot of innovation, particularly on the technology side, is that bridge to a first of a kind. Nobody wants to take first of a kind risk. I have had that conversation so many times, and finally people are doing it because strategically it makes so much sense. So I think in the next few years, we're going to see a lot of this get done, and I think we're going to see things designed differently.
Fantastic.
I think the area that I'm most bullish on, the area where I think there's going to be the biggest delta, didn't do a lot of robotics in Earthshot 1. I think we're going to do a lot more robotics in Earthshot 2. I think the sort of dividends of autonomy and drones and smartphones, all those supply chains are going to make robotics work in a way that they haven't historically. I was just talking with Nate on the way in about sort of a solar-focused robotics company. And so, yeah, very, very bullish and looking for companies that are sort of applying that, that tech stack to climate and energy relevant sectors.
Love that.
I was hoping it would be AI, but I'm glad I can talk about this. Yeah, AI in the short term and in the long term. I think both you mentioned like the long-term goals, but I'm really excited for the short-term opportunities to help image processing, help with asset management for utilities, things like that that can make real savings, real cost, time savings today in the next year. That's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Very exciting.
I always tell everyone, and I can't take credit for it, but it's like, I always tell everyone on the team, I'm like, your job is to work yourself out of a job, because then you get to do more interesting things. So if technology can solve your problem today, then you can solve the harder problems. And to think with that mindset is really where we are, because technology can solve a lot of things, but now we can tackle the harder problems.
Any final word of advice for founders that are either here or listening in? Hey, this is the last word to share with you all.
Apply to incubate. One day left.
It's a good one.
Shoot me your pitch deck when you're raising.
Continue to have this, I love this positivity and optimism. It's not easy. I used to work at a startup. I used to I built a couple startups. Like, just continue to think through. And I said that seriously, take smart capital if you take capital. It can make or break a startup of what kind of partner you have on the investor side.
Huge round of applause. Thank you to our great panel for joining us. Really appreciate it. And I think you can head there, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. We'll be pulling these off. Oh. Thank you, Amanda. All right. Back from our commercial break, and here with the second half of our startups. Let's give a huge round of applause for Othersphere.
Hello, everyone. My name is Robert, thank you, the CEO of Othersphere. So, what we do is we provide project design intelligence for energy-intensive infrastructure. So what does that mean? I'll get to, but why we do it is the most important question. And so the reality is we have to build an enormous amount of infrastructure very quickly to meet our compute goals, to catch up with our energy transition objectives, and doing this is incredibly complicated. And so how do we have teams move quickly and compete in these markets without making major mistakes in terms of where they build and what they build? The reality is they don't. Most major capital projects are billions over budget and years overdue. And that's not a function of the teams not working well. These are exceptionally smart people. The reality is we're working with antiquated processes wrapped around spreadsheets, maps, it's slow manual data gathering. So we're setting ourselves up for underperformance before the first shovel even hits the ground. And I've seen this over and over throughout my career, and I think the problem is only getting worse because what it means to build a good project is only becoming more complicated. So we spun Othersphere out of Breakthrough Energy to solve this problem. So what do we actually do? We effectively pre-model the world for infrastructure. So we break the world into about 180 million tiles, whether looking at data centers, hydrogen production, or other industrial assets, and say, inputs. What are the actual set of feedstock of this project? So it could be the power prices, it could be the grid carbon intensity, its proximity to infrastructure. We then look at the location and the fit itself and say regular sort of local human environmental factors. Can you build there? Can you be a good neighbor there? And then finally, end users. Who will be the end users of the compute? Who might be the industrial off-takers of your commodity product? And we model all of this in advance and then make it searchable. And the idea is we're dramatically improving the speed and result of initial site selection and asset design. So today, we offer this through two products. The first is our Explorer tool, and this is basically the choose your own adventure, full meal deal option, where you search the world, you can assess all of the data, you can do detailed asset modeling, and actually fully optimize the sort of asset design itself. Today, what I'm actually very excited to talk about is something we just released and we actually developed through the Accelerator program. So these waypoint reports are a much more incremental way to work with our platform. To the point about how do you work with the incumbents more easily, this is one way for us to do that. So what we're doing is looking site by site, asset by asset, and letting users gather the power of our platform in this more digestible way. And so it has all the same data as our underlying system. We've also woven in generative AI to bring in information on things like local permitting factors, community sentiment, other really important drivers of project success. So we just launched these a couple of weeks ago. We already have our repeat customers and a very healthy backlog building up, and so it's been a really exciting start. So how is this all valuable? Hopefully. It's really the same for both products. Ultimately, what we're looking to do is save time and money on diligencing, and then as a result of that, you can look at a lot more opportunities. So your teams can filter what's actually coming to you much more effectively. As a result, they should be delivering projects that are coming online faster, they're lower risk, and then ultimately building a portfolio that's in the sort of top quartile or decile of performance means having a really good funnel at the top. And so if you're feeding in exceptional opportunities from the outset, you're going to have a better long-term performance for your company and your team. So we are not planning have any immediate plans to take any additional venture capital, but we are working actively with partners who are deploying billions of dollars into energy infrastructure and data centers. So if you'd like to learn more on how we can help de-risk those investments, please do reach out. Thank you.
There's currently a lot of commentary on a data center development bubble. Can your platform tell us anything new about this?
Yes, I think the idea that there's a bubble, I think in my personal views, it's inevitable. But the question is where and how it unfolds. So I think the really interesting question is what happens on the far side. And the reality is these are assets and they're feeding into an increasingly commoditized market. So if you build where the fundamentals are strong, assets will be strong. And so I think what our platform can reveal is like where things are being built, where it's wise and sort of going to be durable, and where they may be higher risk. The other thing that's critical that we do is we're looking at sort of, is this a good place to build a data center? Well, when you turn that over and you say, what is the best use of this land? You come in from a multi-sectoral view and say, well, if this may not be a stranded asset, there's actually a lot of other ways to use the power at that location. And so thinking is sort of in a multi-sectoral mode, I think will also reveal the places that will be strong, within economic upturns and downturns, and those it won't. Thank you.
Up next, big round of applause for Pebble.
Hello, everyone. AI will need 1,000 times more compute than what we have right now. That's 1,000 times. But there's a problem. And the problem is we don't have enough power to support it. I'm sure you all agree with this by now. But that's not the only problem. There's another problem. So 30% of the GPUs right now are sitting there idle, eating power, doing nothing. So that's 30% of them. And then on the other side, that is the list of people asking for more and more GPUs from the grid. So that is the interconnect queue. So think about the irony of this problem. So on one hand, we're wasting the GPUs that you already paid for. On the other hand, you're asking for more and more GPUs. At Pebble, we solve this problem. We unlock megawatts of compute for data centers in literally months, not years, no permits, no wires, no nothing. Simply using our software. How do we do this? So we do this in like 2 steps. First, we fix, and then we flex. We fix where we actually eliminate the idle compute from your data centers. So we make sure the GPUs that you already paid for are used to their full potential. And then we flex them. So think of flex as a dimmer switch for your data center, where we give you the ability to lower the power consumption of the applications running in your data center without impacting the performance. And then you can bring it back up when you can, literally. So this immediately unlocks a new kind of power called flexible power, and there's 80 gigawatts of flexible power available right now if data centers can safely demonstrate this one quality. Now, when you fix and flex, you're reclaiming all the wasted compute that you already have. And then you get to enjoy additional compute in the form of flexible power. And then if you're a data center that cares about carbon emissions, you can slow down when the energy is coming from fossil fuels, and then you can speed up when the energy is coming from renewable sources. And then you could also participate in DR payouts and other kinds of revenue opportunities. So a quick demo of how this looks like. And one of the core technologies that we built here is the ability to measure the power consumption of the application. You run an application, we will be able to accurately tell how much power was consumed by your application and how much of that went into GPUs, CPUs, and all of that, which is the core fundamental technology that gets fed into the AI models that sort of start predicting how much we can flex in a data center at any given point of time. We've been programming GPUs for literally 20 years. So, we wrote the early shaders using OpenGL. So we understand GPUs, AI, infra, kernel. We have the best team to sort of solve this problem. We're two things. If you're looking to unlock the compute, so let us come chat with us. Happy to get into the details. We're also raising our 5 million seed. So we filled $3 million from it, and we're looking for a lead investor, somebody who understands data center, energy, and all of that to come and set the terms for the rest of them. Thank you.
Can you tell us about your traction to date?
Yeah, so we're talking to some we're currently negotiating contracts with very large customers. We're talking to 3 kinds of customers. One, a large public customer who have a lot of rack space available in their data centers but cannot fill GPUs, so we're unlocking them GPUs. And the other kind of customer was a colo operator, I'll let you guys guess, but with 100 data centers in the US. And the third kind of customer is somebody who builds these large AI clusters for companies like Meta and other companies. Yeah, thanks.
You can go to the next. Up next, I'm delighted to introduce Pila. Round of applause.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Matt, and the Google team. My name's Cole Ashman. I'm the founder and CEO here at Pila. I'll tell you about the product. I'll tell you about my story first. I grew up in New Orleans, and also thank you, Hans, here from our team for doing the setup. Pay no attention to what's going on behind the scenes. I grew up in New Orleans, and 20 years ago, Hurricane Katrina struck. The levees failed, the power grid failed, the resulting flooding and spoiled food and ruined appliances, and for me, exposed the fragility of our legacy systems. So I spent my career scaling deployment of smart home energy products, engineered Tesla's Powerwall team. I led product at Span for the last 4 years, building smart electrical panels. But today, in 2025, climate volatility is outpacing grid resilience. 70% of utility customers have experienced major outages long enough to spoil their food in the past 5 years. We all know this story. 1 in 6 households are behind on their utility bills. This is in the news more and more, and we have solutions. Smart distributed batteries can solve these things, but progress check. How is deployment going over the last decade since we launched Powerwall? It's good, but it's slower than I would like to see it. If we look at solar homes in the US, it's about 5 million, ticking upwards. A chunk of those, a small chunk, have batteries attached. But in total, it's less than 1% of US homes that actually have a smart battery system in their garage. And I mean, come on, it's a $20,000 investment. You have to own your home. There's complex rewiring and permitting, and you've heard this from some of the other companies today. By the way, that price tag, 50% of it's soft cost. So you hear about battery prices coming down, the installation and the labor are what's holding us back. Plus, solar's great, but not everyone's home looks like this. Solar-paired batteries are out of reach for many. Multifamily renters, small businesses. So, right, not so smart, complex, accessible. What products do we have today? what's missing. You can probably guess where I'm going with this, but we have these awesome premium solutions that are just a bit harder to scale. So what do people do? They forego the energy optimization value. They buy assets that mostly sit idle. They do one job, maybe backup power, and the grid loses out. We want to occupy that top right quadrant. So we've built a new generation of storage and energy control for the built environment. So for the same cost as a nice generator from Home Depot, you can have a smart solution that's infrastructure grade control that you can set up yourself without calling an electrician in this sort of weeks and months process that works for any home or business and that scales up. How does it work? Well, imagine if getting an energy upgrade for your home was like the modern Wi-Fi experience. You buy as many as you need, you plug them in, they all work together, end of story. Room by room, appliance by appliance, you can add Pila to your home wherever power matters the most to you. Plug it into the wall, connect the appliances that matter. Whether that's your den and Wi-Fi, your work from home space, your larger loads like sump pumps and window air condition units, all working seamlessly together to automatically provide energy resilience, but also to provide a new asset intelligence layer. I mean, these things learn your appliance's behavior, get smarter over time, and do a lot more than just protect you from power outages. Our battery mesh network allows us to aggregate and orchestrate these devices across the home and seamlessly offer bill savings and its integrated digital model of your home's energy usage and essential appliance performance. But this isn't just about homes at the end of the day. Our vision is grid scale, and our view sort of stems from multiple converging trends here. One is the fundamental need for rapid adaptation for grid resilience. Power's going out, that's a problem. Two is a shift from centralized to distributed intelligence. And then finally, three is the growing demand on the bulk power grid, which we've heard a lot about today already. Battery costs have fallen 99% in the last 30 years, but the learning rate for deployment and the cost curve for deployment, installed cost, in other words, certainly hasn't. And there's power in numbers. If you can imagine one small battery for every household in the US that can be installed in minutes, in that scenario, we can 6 to 10x the total grid-connected battery capacity today. That is skipping past the interconnection queues and leveraging the power of distributed solutions to support while also upgrading our homes, businesses, when power does cut out. The grid is breaking into 1 billion intelligent nodes. Our mission at Pila is to make sure they all work together. And boy, do we have a QR code on our last slide for you. If this is interesting to you, you can pre-order, where it will be shipping beginning of next year. Special Google code. But I know. We're moving really fast, right? Our team's experienced. We hail from Span, Tesla, Apple, Amazon. Demand has been incredible. In addition to orders across basically every state, we're now onboarding partners in the utility space, electrification, home services, who are building on top of this smart platform. So 2 calls to action for partners, channel partners. If power and control is important to your customers, let's talk. For investors, we recently raised a $4 million seed round. We're putting that money to work to scale manufacturing, integrations, build out the platform ecosystem. But it's always great to connect, so come find us afterwards. Thank you.
Where does the value of the mesh network come into play?
Okay, good question. I wrote the question also. I don't know if you guys know this, but the mesh, there's a simple answer and then there's kind of a complicated answer. The simple answer is, how do you turn these things from point solutions into things that can benefit the whole building? Think of 100, 1,000 of these across a multi-tenant property, basically turning that building into a megapack. That's the value of distributed coordination. What's also packed in this box, in addition to the battery, is really powerful edge compute. And there's this idea of resilience 1.0 is power cuts out because the power plant 100 miles away, fails, or the wires in between, whatever. Lights go out. Resilience 2.0, we believe, has a data story in addition to the power story. So that local compute layer brings control and orchestration resilience so that if the data center connection that's 100 miles away from your home or business cuts out. You can count on things being smart, safe, optimized, and backed by Pila. Again, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Fantastic. Wow, we've got new announcements, new products, new discount codes all being announced today. Pretty cool. Up next, delighted to introduce Prava. Big round of applause.
The electric grid is failing pretty much everywhere. 5 months ago, Spain and Portugal witnessed a nationwide outage. In India, heat waves are contributing to blackouts. In the US, outages experienced by an average American have nearly doubled in the last 7 years. The status quo is unsustainable. These are not my words, this is what the DOE said in its report 5 months ago. In fact, it said that if this continues, the risk of outages in the US will 100x in the next 5 years. More than 2,000 electric utilities in the US are stuck in this once-in-a-generation shift. But they cannot forecast either demand or supply accurately. This is because they use old-school statistical methods to forecast that just don't understand today's complex grid. As an example, let's go to Nashville, Tennessee, December 2022. The utility TV expected demand to be close to 33,000 megawatts. Turns out the actual demand was 15% higher. They didn't have enough supply to match demand. Immediately, 2 million people lost power, and TVA lost $170 million in 2 days. This is where we come in. We are experts in power systems, machine learning, and weather. Aman is a climate and weather scientist at Stanford, and in the last 10 years has been building several models, including NASA and IBM's foundational AI weather model. Dhruv just finished his PhD in energy science, focused on machine learning applied to power systems. He also got his PhD in the shortest amount of time in Stanford's history. And I am a former World Bank economist and a YouTuber. We applied transformers to electricity time series data. Transformers are excellent at predicting the next token. LLMs applied this to text, and we are applying this to time series grid data. Dhruv spent his entire PhD working with them, and this is just one of the papers he published using them for Chile's wind forecasts. They are 40% more accurate than statistical models, and for one of our customers, this translates to $40 million in annual savings. Now, I know what you're thinking. The problem is big and growing. The team is impressive, but they're selling to electric utilities. And I'm here to tell you why this time is different. In the last 20 weeks, we have the world's leading utilities in 3 continents in our pipeline. In India, we are working with the country's largest utility. In Germany, we have signed one of the biggest grid operators owned by E.ON. And in the US, we have an active pilot with PG&E, CAISO, and ERCOT. As we speak, we're currently finalizing a $3 million contract with one of India's largest utilities. And as we expand our customer engagements, we expect to reach $10 million ARR in the next 12 months. And forecasts are just the start for us. Next, we want to focus on grid orchestration and then generation management, which will put us in prime position to be the AI-native operating system for the $20 billion market. This problem is both large and important, and we are the best team to solve it. If you work for an electric utility or are interested in this space, please come talk to me. Thank you.
Utilities are known for being conservative about buying software. Why would they buy now?
I think the panel before me answered this question well, but I truly think this time is different. On the demand side, it's exploding. On the supply side, it's increasingly unpredictable. There's political pressure, like everyone from governors to New York Times is talking about tariff rates and operations of electric utilities. So the culture that was in utilities is now changing, and this is why our customers are excited about what we are building.
Fantastic. Up next, let's give a big warm welcome to Rock Rabbit.
Hello, everyone. I'm Riyadh. I'm co-founder of Rock Rabbit. There's more than $10 billion in building energy upgrade incentives available right now. And this very recent case study shows that a family in Redwood City could get a grid-aware heat pump water heater absolutely for free. We're also estimating that the peak load nationwide can be cut by up to 10% if all of these incentives were properly utilized. But the reality is that majority, which is more than $6 billion, is going unclaimed every year. So you might ask why, and if you have any experience with incentives, you will know that they're incredibly painful to participate in. Finding incentives requires hours of desktop research. Navigating eligibility requirements is hard even for seasoned professionals. Claiming them obviously requires hours and hours of error-prone paperwork, and then cash flow uncertainty makes those funds inaccessible for most of the customers. Well, good news is we've built an AI-enabled platform to make this easy. So we streamline incentive management by eliminating friction every step of the way, and we help claim incentives, but we also help utilities administer incentives. How we do it is by bringing everyone on the same platform, including utilities and other incentive providers, the end customers and installers, and providing them specialized applications for their needs. As an example, here's a short demo of the contractor experience. They go in, they put in the property address, answer a few simple questions about the project, and here they go. They see all incentives available for their project. They're able to select and layer multiple and know which ones are not combinable. They can use a quick AI-assisted form to submit their applications, and voila, they can claim the funds that their project deserves. A few numbers. We're in 35 states right now. We helped administer more than $6 million in incentive funds, and we've provenly made this process of finding and claiming incentives up to 10 times faster. This wouldn't be possible without the amazing leadership team that we have built that brings deep bench of expertise in both energy and technology. It's exciting times, we're growing, and we're currently looking to connect with strategic investors as well as customers who can benefit from the stuff we're building. We're also expanding our engineering team, so anyone on the call, anyone around here, we'll be happy to talk. Thank you so much.
What's the impact of federal policy changes on incentive funding availability?
Sure. So recent federal policy changes, as you all might know, are sunsetting some of the tax credits by the end of this year. So a bummer. But at the same time, a lot of home upgrade incentives on federal level, up to $10 billion, are still available and are going to be administered. We're also seeing a lot of revenge policy making where state, local, and city governments are rolling out more incentive funding to kind of help bridge that gap. And with recent spike in load growth as well as affordability challenges, these incentive programs are becoming more important than ever. Thank you.
Fantastic. Up next, we get to hear from Salient. Come on up, Matt.
Hi, I'm Matt. Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Matt Stein, CEO and co-founder of Salient. In 2021, in February, I was driving cross country and got snowbound near Texas. As I sat and watched the news, the energy infrastructure collapsed and more than 200 people died. I'm sure you all remember this. You know, in the aftermath, officials said that the storm caught them off guard. But to really understand what went wrong that day, it's important to focus on weather forecasting. Typical weather models take as inputs atmospheric variables like air temperature. Our team demonstrated years ago that by training AI models with land and ocean inputs, we were able to achieve over 50% greater accuracy and reliability than traditional models. Given the impact, we decided to start Salient. Compared to traditional forecasting companies that focus on the coming hours and days, we focus on critical weather decisions in the coming weeks, months, all the way out to a year. Our API and UI enable our customers to drill into specific locations and timescales that matter to them. We present the data in ways that allows them to make quick, confident, easy decisions. They can set custom probabilistic thresholds on single-variate or multivariate extreme weather events. They can also see at a glance how well our AI models perform versus other models that are out there. For example, 2 weeks before the Texas freeze, Salient's generative AI model caught a strong signal for an anomalously cold event. NOAA, the standard model in the US, didn't see it. Days later, NOAA caught a signal of that event, and the energy industry took notice. However, the energy industry became confused because NOAA's model reversed itself days before the event, whereas Salient's model held steady and intensified. This is an example of where traditional physics-based models tend to be jumpy and overconfident, whereas our model not only predicts extreme events further in advance, but holds steady in evolving probabilities. Compared to other leading artificial intelligence weather models, Salient's generative model currently has the longest lead time and the highest ensemble count, which essentially means better quantification of risk further in advance. We've helped businesses like Canadian utility Hydro-Quebec improve some of their key operational metrics, and we're working with more than 50% of the leading power producers and energy trading firms. Our team won a US government-sponsored forecasting competition, and we've had the support of amazing investors and partners. We're eager to build more and work more closely with amazing innovators in power production and other companies as well. And I look forward to connecting. Thank you. Any questions?
What's the role of agents in weather?
Yeah, it's a good question. We are in the early days of seeing agents emerge in meteorology. Meteorology is an interesting space. It's very nuanced. I'd say there's a lot of curiosity, but there's also a lot of skepticism and a lot of trust issues. I think our company is in an amazing position to start to bridge that trust gap. There's more than 1,000 companies in the energy industry, just in the US alone, that have really critical decisions that they're making, weeks, months in advance. And we think we're the company that's really well poised to sort of lead that introduction into using agents at scale. And I have to say that, just want to say thank you to Google for helping us kind of stand up the first version of that. And if anyone wants to see it, please come find me afterwards, and we'd be happy to do a demo for you. So thank you, everyone.
Up next, last but certainly not least, I'm delighted to introduce Spark AI. Come on up, Julia. Big round of applause.
Spark builds AI to help energy infrastructure developers cut through the permitting red tape. We talked today a lot about energy infrastructure, load growth, and we have yet to talk about one of the biggest killers of these projects. Before starting this company, I was an engineer and manager at Brex, Microsoft, and Apple Siri, where I learned just how much power is required to build the future. But permitting is one of the biggest killers. We want to triple the amount of renewable energy by 2030, and yet over 50% of solar and wind applications are delayed, and over 30% gets canceled. And that's all because of a very fragmented and error-prone process. During a project's entire life cycle, and especially in its delicate infancy, developers scramble to find and keep track of permitting regulations, zoning ordinances, community sentiment, competitive projects. And by the time they find answers, the opportunity is gone, or too much time and money has sunk in. Spark pulls all of this together in one place. We have scoured the internet, millions of PDFs, websites, public records, meeting minutes, news articles, social media, into one place, It's at your fingertips in seconds instead of weeks. The same technology works for individual parcels as well as portfolios and data rooms. And that's why leading developers like Standard Solar can trust Spark to diligence their acquisitions and move that process from months to a week. And they're not the only ones. Spark is trusted by some of the world's best developers with over 90 gigawatts in their pipelines and $30 billion in project finance. And this November is on track to be the strongest revenue growth month since the inception of our company. But we're not stopping here. Our customers are getting very busy with data centers. And we all know that changes everything about how energy is permitted. We have to do it quickly and responsibly. So today, Spark is supporting data center permitting, community sentiment, and project intelligence. This is our flagship product, Spark Reports. You get zoning insights, sentiment analysis, nearby projects, and now you can get it for data centers on top of what our users already love for solar and storage. This is brought to you by a passionate team of energy and technology nerds, fueled by a lot of caffeine. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We'd love to chat with hyperscalers, developers, and operators building the future of compute and reliable, sustainable energy. So if that's you, come find us.
Is it the case that Spark is only for one-time use during site diligence?
No, not at all. As we know, projects can span anywhere from months to years to come online. Spark is here every step of the way. Regulations change, community sentiment can flip, new projects can come up, and Spark is here from inception to notice to proceed to commercial operation.
I can't believe it. Unfortunately, we had Blumen and Dilly were unable to join us today, but you will see all their information on the website. That's a wrap. Can you believe it? Let's give a huge round of applause to all the amazing startups that joined us here, to all of you that joined us here, and to all of you that joined us live on the live stream. Thrilled to have you here. Just a couple quick final things. Let's not end the conversation here. You've got some amazing entrepreneurs that we can continue to support, whether you're a partner, investor, potential client, reach out to them. I want to say a huge thank you to the Google Energy team, who has been amazing to partner with. Allegra, who's been an awesome partner, is here and helped us in so many ways with sourcing all these fantastic startups and selecting all of them. Big, huge thanks to Allegra and the Energy team. As well, of course, as well as Michael and Amanda, who joined us today. Final thing is, if you are a startup, if you're a founder and you want to build, I think now is the best time ever to build and to build with Google. And we want to help you do that. You can check out the QR code and go to Google for Startups Cloud Program, get credits, support, discounts, resources, and much more to help you build the future. We hope you'll join us in this journey. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day, and thanks for joining. See y'all.